me you went to a public high school in America without actually telling me it was in America.
12th grade English. They said we can do a report on some shit I don't even remember, or we can physically build a scene out of any book. I didn't do neither. So the day it was due, my little cousin who was living with us had this little toy from McDonald's, this Robin Hood motherfucker. So I took a shoebox, put some shit from a plant in it, drew his face, put a reward on there, Robin Hood. This counted for 60% of my grade. 60% is a D. D is passing. That's the only fucking assignment I did all year in that class. I graduated high school doing arts and crafts like a goddamn toddler.
My high school's colors were red, white, and blue. Our mascot was the Patriot, and we had Bring Your Tractor to School Day. So.
When I was in high school, I got detention for refusing to stand up during the pledge because all of the kids in my class were standing up during the Pledge of Allegiance, but they were actually just talking and not saying the pledge, which I thought was more disrespectful than me not participating at all. And then the teacher decided he wanted to try and guilt me by telling me there were kids in my class whose parents were in the military, but what he didn't know was at the time my dad was actually in Baghdad, Iraq. And, he was getting shot at and mortars blown at him, and, God knows what else. Anyway, I went to detention.
There was a kid in the desk next to me who rolled a blunt and sold it in the middle of class while the teacher was teaching. Someone put oregano in the air vents and got an entire building high, so we had to evacuate that building. There was a senior who put a senior quote as, "What all girls want to hear, I'ma lick your ass." No one figured out what it meant until a parent came to the school, was like, this is what this means, and she wanted the senior arrested for sexual assault and expelled from everything, but they couldn't arrest him for sexual assault, so they expelled him from all his senior activities, and he almost couldn't walk, but when he walked, they cheered him on, and it was super funny. I went to a different high school for about 2 months, but when I left that high school, there was a teacher who got arrested because she was sleeping with one of her underage students for about 2 years. After the Parkland shooting, we had a walkout, and a bunch of students just jumped the fence and skipped class. My senior year, a month before COVID, there was about 5 or 6 fights that broke out, and they were all fighting administration.
I got this one. So boom. We used to have this experiment in science class where they gave you a cotton swab and you swabbed the inside of your cheek. Then you took that swab and you swiped it on a glass slide, and you'd put the slide under the magnifying glass so you can see your cheek cells. Well, one day we're in class doing the experiment, and this young lady looks at the teacher and she was like, "There's something wrong with my cheek cells. They're moving around and they have little tails." Teacher was like, looking perplexed, goes over and looks in the magnifying glass, and he was like, yeah, those aren't cheek cells.
I have a very long list of these, but I'm just gonna list a couple that just really absolutely blow my mind. A girl shoved her vape up her cooter in order to, get out of trouble, so when they searched her, she wouldn't get caught. A kid shit in the middle of a classroom on the floor and got expelled. One day someone brought their lizard in and released it in the guy's bathroom. Someone took another girl's vape and pissed on it and put it on their Snapchat story. A girl also pierced her belly button in the bathroom and pierced it wrong and it got infected. People also would get on the sinks and they would fall off the walls because they were jumping on them. It was also a recurring issue that people would take the soap dispensers off the walls and throw them. One day, a bunch of guys pissed in another dude's backpack, and there's teachers outside of our bathrooms to sign us in and out so they know who goes in.
Because I was the kid that people thought would shoot up the school, and here's why. This was my standard outfit for high school. I wear camouflage pants because denim chafes and all the pants that I had at the time were too small, except for the camouflage pants. I wear the jacket because when it's cold out, that thing can withstand a blizzard. It's got pocket space for days, and it represents the military because it's genuine military surplus. Not to mention the band reference on the back. And I wear boots because of the ankle support because I would walk to and from school every single day of senior year. This hat shows the first nuclear cruise liner ever made. And that was the outfit. However, it gets better. Being a teenager, I wanted a hobby. I chose guitar. So I would carry this beautiful Alvarez acoustic guitar to school. Yes, I need new strings for it. At the end of the day, I still walked across that stage and I got my diploma. Everybody misjudged me, and I proved them all wrong. Be better than that.
Hey, are you going to the football game tonight?
Tonight?
Yeah, it's red, white, and blue theme.
Okay, everybody file out.
Is this a fire drill, a school shooting drill, or a bomb drill?
I don't know, just go.
Republic on which it stands, one nation. Why are all of the bathrooms closed?
Well, because one of you kids was caught vaping in the bathroom.
Okay, but I need to pee.
Did you hear Mr. Johnson got arrested?
Pedophilia
I
again?
know, right?
My one teacher got fired for being a literal pedophile. He would message students on Facebook and ask if they could get dropped off at his house because he was lonely and intoxicated. My other teacher used to snort Xanax in his car, and he thought none of us knew even though he was always 15 minutes late to class. We also had to walk outside to get to his class, so we would see him snorting the Xanax in his car. I once saw an underclassman get punched so hard that their jaw broke because they spit on a senior's shoe. There was once a chemical gas leak in my school and no one knew about it until this girl passed out in the science lab. This one time a teacher got decked in the face because he was trying to stop a fight from happening. 2 guys got caught having sex while in the theater department prop closet. My teachers would literally let me skip class as long as I brought them food from the cafeteria vending machine. Oh yeah, and we had active shooter drills 3 times a month.
Oh my god, okay, I need to know if this happened at other schools. Basically, at my school, there was this thing called Slap Ass Friday, where guys declared that it was Slap Ass Friday, so it gave them permission to run up to any girl they wanted and slap their ass as hard as they can in the hallways. No one was safe. No one was safe. And then the funniest part, guys would go up to girls with boyfriends and slap their ass, and then the guy that slapped her ass and the boyfriend would fight. So every Slap Ass Friday would end with a fist fight in the parking lot. And it was just traumatizing, just walking around school scared for your life. And then girls would do this thing where they loosen the straps of their book bag to cover their ass so they wouldn't get slapped.
When I was in 10th grade, we had a moment of silence about once a month for a student that we lost to violence. I was almost one of those students twice before 11th grade. And you guys would have never known me.
One time I was in school, right, and we had a potluck, right? Everyone bought all the goodies and treats and shit. I took the last lemon square, and someone was very upset with me and threw a loaf of fucking bread at my face. I then look at my teacher and I'm like, didn't you see that? He's like, what? I'm like, someone threw a loaf of bread at me. His response was, what kind of bread was it? What are you talking? It was wheat. He was like, oh, you probably deserved it. How? That makes no fucking sense. Then I had to go to the bathroom the same day, right? A kid stops me before I get in there. He's like, don't come in here unless you're trying to get dunked. What does that mean? There's no basketball hoops in a bathroom. Getting dunked is a very niche word. So what, is it in the urinal? I was scared.
There was such an issue with vaping at our school that they had to have guards stand outside of the toilets and sign you in, sign you out, and time how long you were in there. I had AP Spanish for 45 minutes just to mess around with my friends in line. There were bomb threats at least once a year. During the PSAT, the fire alarm went off 15 times, so much that it got on the news. And all scores during that day were discredited. I knew at least 5 kids with ankle monitors. My senior year, my stats teacher was threatened, and they did find a gun, and it was a rumor that there was also a pound of weed in this kid's car, which is around $2,000. We had to run from a woman that would chase us around campus on a golf cart if we were against dress code. So much fun. She also fell asleep once in her leopard print Santa hat during detention, and I just left. Sorry, Mom. I also just walked out of my first period junior year all the time. Nobody noticed. Our principal was fired because of anger issues. That's what they told us, at least. And during the day of the elections in 2016, several fistfights broke out, and a fire was started. And look, the Golden Gate Bridge.
Freshman year of high school, a kid literally threatened to the school with an AK-47 on Snapchat and said, do not come to school tomorrow. Of course, outraged and afraid, everybody's parents started calling the police. A little bit later in the nighttime, school district sent out an automated message on the phone saying that everything was safe and okay. Your kids could come to school tomorrow. I didn't go to school the next day because he posted an AK.
I wrote a bomb threat on the wall, and instead of evacuating the school, they erased the bomb threat. I had to write it twice for the school to get evacuated. It should have only taken one time, bro.